In a quiet suburban neighborhood where everyone feels safe, a young woman lives a normal, peaceful life. She trusts the people around her, especially a familiar neighbor who has always seemed kind and helpful. But after a painful breakup and job loss, loneliness makes her more vulnerable than she realizes. One night, a news article changes everything. The face in the story looks disturbingly familiar. As she digs deeper, fear replaces comfort. The man she trusted may be hiding a dangerous past. When he appears at her door, calm and smiling, her instincts finally take control. She runs, reports everything to the police, and learns the truth just in time. The man is arrested, shocking the entire neighborhood. In the end, she survives, heals, and learns a powerful lesson. Evil doesn't always look dangerous. Sometimes it looks kind. This was a quiet neighborhood, the kind people dream about living in. Clean streets stretched calmly under the morning sun. Houses stood neatly side by side, each one looking peaceful, welcoming, and safe. Neighbors waved as they passed each other. Children laughed as they rode their bikes down the sidewalk. Cars moved slowly, as if nothing here was ever in a hurry. There were no warning signs, no loud arguments, no broken windows.
Look over there!
Everything felt normal. Too normal.
Let's race to the corner!
This was a place where people trusted without thinking twice, where doors were sometimes left unlocked, where danger felt like something that only happened somewhere else. No one believed something bad could grow here. No one imagined that behind this calm, something dark was quietly watching. And that was the most dangerous part of all. There was a man in the neighborhood that everyone knew. He wasn't loud, he wasn't flashy, he was simply always there. He helped fix broken doors and loose fences. He carried heavy bags for elderly neighbors without being asked. He waved politely and spoke in a calm, friendly voice. People trusted him because he never gave them a reason not to.
Hey guys, how are you doing?
He listened more than he talked.
We're good, enjoying the evening.
He smiled at the right moments. To most people, he was just a helpful neighbor. Harmless, familiar, easy to like. But trust can grow quietly. And when no one asks questions, it becomes invisible. No one noticed how closely he watched. No one wondered why he shared so little about himself. In a place built on comfort and routine, suspicion had no place to live. She had lived in this neighborhood most of her life. The streets felt familiar, almost like an extension of her home. Every corner carried a memory. Every house felt known. She remembered growing up here, walking these sidewalks without fear. The faces around her never changed much, and that made everything feel stable. The man next door had always been there. Not loudly, not forcefully, just present. Over time, that presence became comforting. Familiarity slowly turned into trust, without her ever realizing when it happened. She never questioned it. Why would she? Nothing bad had ever happened here. And when danger never announces itself, it's easy to believe it doesn't exist at all. Life didn't feel as steady as it once had. The days blended together, and the nights felt longer than they should. Silence filled the house in a way that made her feel smaller. A relationship had ended without warning. A job disappeared just as suddenly. Plans she once believed in no longer existed. Loneliness has a quiet power. It makes people crave connection, even in small forms. A short conversation, a familiar face, someone who seems to care. When someone noticed her sadness, she didn't question it. She welcomed the attention, believing it came from kindness. She didn't realize that vulnerability can be seen,
and sometimes it attracts the wrong kind of attention.
It started with something small. So small she almost ignored it. A look that lasted a second too long. A pause where there shouldn't have been one. A feeling she couldn't explain. The neighborhood hadn't changed. The houses were the same. The street was still quiet. But something about him felt different. His smile didn't appear as easily. His eyes seemed sharper, more focused, as if he was paying attention in a new way. She told herself she was imagining it. Stress can make people suspicious. Loneliness can distort reality. Still, the feeling stayed. And once doubt enters the mind, it never leaves quietly.
Later that night, she sat alone, scrolling without thinking. The room was quiet, lit only by the glow of her phone. That's when a headline caught her eye. She almost kept scrolling. Almost. The image stopped her cold. The face in the photo felt familiar in a way that made her chest tighten. Her heart began to race as she read the words slowly, hoping she had misunderstood. She told herself it couldn't be real. People look alike. Coincidences happen. But the feeling wouldn't leave. As she read deeper, the details became harder to ignore. Different names, different places, the same face. Her hands started to shake. What began as curiosity turned into fear, and fear quickly became something much worse. She didn't sleep that night. The image stayed burned into her mind, replaying every time she closed her eyes. The more she thought about it, the more everything began to make sense. She opened her laptop, hands trembling, and started searching again. This time, she went deeper. Different articles, old records, forgotten stories. The pattern was impossible to ignore. Different names appeared on the screen, linked to different places, but the face never changed. The eyes were always the same. Her breathing became shallow. Her heart pounded harder with every click. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't coincidence. The truth stood clearly in front of her now, heavy and terrifying. In once seen, it could never be unseen. The house no longer felt safe. Every sound felt louder than before. The ticking clock, the hum of electricity, the quiet creak of the floor. Her mind filled the silence with fear. If he had been watching all this time, then he knew her routine. He knew when she was alone. He knew how vulnerable she was. She moved slowly through the house, checking locks she had never worried about before. Windows, doors, corners of dark rooms. Then she heard it, a soft sound outside. Footsteps. Her heart slammed against her chest as she froze, listening. The world seemed to stop breathing with her. And then, a knock. Slow, calm, too calm. Morning light filled the street, but it brought no comfort. The night had passed, yet the fear remained, heavy and sharp. She hadn't slept. Every sound from the darkness replayed in her mind. When she finally stepped outside, her body felt tense, as if danger was waiting. And then she saw him, standing there like nothing had happened, calm, familiar, watching. Her heart pounded as she realized he knew. He could see it in her face. The truth had changed something between them. He spoke softly, almost kindly, but his eyes told a different story. The warmth was gone. In that moment, she understood something clearly. This was no longer about fear. It was about survival. She turned away, choosing herself, and without looking back, she ran. Her legs burned as she ran, but she didn't stop. Fear pushed her forward, past hesitation, past doubt. She knew exactly where she was going. Inside the police station, the world felt different, brighter, safer, still serious. Her voice shook as she spoke, but she didn't hold anything back. She told them about the news article, the research, the night knock, the morning confrontation. The officers listened closely. No interruptions, no disbelief. As she talked, something shifted. The looks on their faces changed from concern to focus. What she didn't know was this: he wasn't invisible. He had already been on their radar. Her words didn't start the case, they completed it. And for the first time since the fear began, she felt something else: hope. After the police left, the street felt different, quieter, heavier, as if the air itself had changed. Neighbors stood in small groups, whispering in disbelief. People replayed memories, searching for signs they had missed. Friendly smiles now felt unsettling in hindsight. Inside her home, the silence returned, but it no longer felt the same. The fear was still there, but it had shifted. It was mixed with relief, exhaustion, and disbelief. She sat alone, letting everything sink in. The truth had come out, but the shock remained. Safety had returned, yet innocence was gone. Nothing looked the same anymore, and it never would. But she was alive, and that mattered more than anything else.